Now I'm sure every one of you has visited a bookstore at least once in your life. And don't you find it common to see that all the children and teenagers are found in the fantasy section, scouring the racks for Harry Potter's and Marvel comics, while the adults look for more serious stuff like autobiographies, research papers, self-improvement books. The list is endless. Now what I'm going to present before you today is more of an appeal than an idea. For me, fantasy and fiction novels have always served as my best friend and my way to escape this boring and dreary world that we live in, chock full of expectations and pressure, to a world filled with magic, wonder, and a dragon or two. My idea is to urge the curriculum makers to formally include fiction and fantasy novels as a part of the school curriculum, from pre-primary all the way to the higher classes. And in fact, aren't we already doing that? For in which other book genre can the Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother be eaten up by the big bad wolf? Our younger generation is raised on the foundation of singing mermaids, unicorns, and pumpkins that turn into carriages. Yet, as we grow up, the school curriculum turns into a factual drudgery and soon loses its charm. Now, in a study, the short and long-term effects of a novel on the connectivity in the brain, the researchers tested the brain connectivity before and immediately after reading a novel. And it was found that fiction readers have significant increases in brain connectivity. So in a nutshell, when your child is reading fiction, he's increasing his brain connectivity. Now when we say that fiction reading helps improve your analytical skills, what does that mean? Our brain is always trying to sort and organize information. And it does that even more so with students who receive a bulk load of information every single day. Now reading fiction helps solidify this process. Haven't you ever felt that Game of Thrones could have had an alternate ending? It was a very disappointing season. Or you could have felt that a hero of a story could have done the deed in another fashion. When you do this, you are actually teaching your brain to sort and organize. There are many plot twists and alternative endings. Now this forces the reader to think and in turn improves his analytical skills, because analysis is all pervasive in the curriculum. It is one of the reasons why we can visualize and solve, say, a physics equation or a math word problem in the best way possible. Now, in the life of an average teenager, we have to deal with a lot of stress daily, from balancing our homework assignments, to balancing social life, to the yearly dread of the exam result. We teens bite off way more than we can chew sometimes, and we need a way to unwind. Well, fantasy fiction reading does just that and more. Because when we read fantasy fiction, we become so engrossed in the book that we momentarily forget our pressures and become stress-free. Now, if I take up the example of Harry Potter, in me reading just one page, page number 273 of the third book, The Prisoner of Azkaban, I have been able to find at least 8 new words to add to my vocabulary. And it is proven in a study that fiction readers on an average have knowledge of more than 2,000 more words than our readers of other genres. Now, wouldn't it be every English teacher's dream to find that his students have an excellent vocabulary, because that's how reading fiction affects a student's mind. Now, we all know students love sleep. And with students pulling all-nighters to study, they need it even more, me included in this category. Now, reading fiction can help give these sleep-deprived students a good night's rest. How? Well, reading fiction can be the last late-time ritual that they can do before lights out to completely disengage them. Now, serial optimizer Tim Ferriss also believes in the power of reading fiction and only fiction before going to bed. Now, for a student of the 21st century, it is vital to have skills like empathy, creativity, and tolerance to survive. And fiction teaches just that, and if not more. Fiction allows uncertainty, and this creates the perfect environment for a child's creativity to thrive. It also helps that student give better answers in English and gives his physics and biology answers more depth and meaning. Now, bringing back Harry Potter again, we have seen the protagonist Harry stand up for fellow classmates using the term mudbloods to describe non-magical born wizards and witch. This also teaches students tolerance against all races and castes and makes them better human beings. It also helps them understand the finer concepts of physics like marginalization and stereotypes and so on. It also teaches us about empathy. When you read a book in fiction, the character's mind is vaguely or precisely depicted inside that book. And it is up to the reader to fill in the gaps that the author has made, creating that character's mindset. It makes them even more empathetic towards people in their real-life scenarios. So don't you think that improving and including fantasy fiction inside the students' curriculum will make them better future thinkers, innovators, and individuals? Thank you.